Greetings and salutations, everybody. Anthony here from Anthony Around Town, brought to you by the Hilton Garden Inn, Iron Horse RV Resort, the Garden Grill and Bar located in the Hilton Garden Inn, and Elko's Relay for Life. We're here downtown Elko on Commercial Street at the Cowboy Arts and Gear Museum, and joining us today we have Jan Peterson. Thank you so much.
Well, welcome, and thank you for stopping in. This is a great honor and pleasure to host you here.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I was telling Jan a little bit before we started rolling that I've been in here once for like maybe a quick little walkthrough, but never actually came inside and appreciated something cool at the heart of our town. So again, just thank you so much for making some time for letting us stop by.
Well, this is a pretty fun visit to have you stop here.
Yeah.
This is an historic building right in the middle of downtown Elko, which is celebrating its 150th birthday.
Sure.
With the, Elko is established technically December 29th, 1868.
1868, okay. I didn't even know that.
So we're celebrating all of 1869, 2019, as Elko's 150th year.
Perfect.
So this is a great time to add to the celebration.
Yeah, let's just do it. 150 years, that's a long time.
And
Happy
we learned
birthday,
how to
Elko.
say sesquicentennial in Nevada.
Sesquicentennial.
Nevada.
Sesquicentennial is what I say, right? Sesquicentennial?
Sesquicentennial?
Yeah,
That's close
That's
enough.
fine. That works. Close enough. So before we talk a little bit more about the museum, kind of what you all are about here, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you come to be a part of this place?
Well, I've always loved history. My dad loved history and I never knew any different. So I've just always liked to know the stories and the why behind those stories and how things came about to be. My family and my husband's family came to Elko in 1869.
Okay.
So I have deep roots, and we live in my husband's grandpa's house, and he lived in it too, and we have too much stuff to leave. So we just like these background stories, and it's fun to share these stories with others and keep these stories alive.
Exactly. So for maybe people out there watching this video who are like myself, maybe have walked by, seen the outside of the museum, or just never even knew we had a Cowboys Arts and Gear Museum here in town, what can people expect when they come walk through your doors and check you guys out?
The Cowboy Arts and Gear Museum is in G.S. Garcia's building, his shop building. And he was a big deal saddle maker and bit and spur maker who came to Elko in the 1890s from California, and he brought the Vaquero Californio tradition of cowboy gear and arts and crafts. So in 1904, he entered a contest in St. Louis. And when he arrived, some of the other leather crafters there at the World's Fair were so intimidated they just went slinking off into the background.
Wow.
And he won a gold medal for his stuff.
Wow.
That saddle that he won the medal on is at the State Museum in Carson City.
Oh, wow, okay.
But the horse that he displayed it on is the horse we have in the window.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Then in 1905, he again entered the same saddle in a contest in Portland, Oregon, and he won 2 more medals.
Wow, dang.
So through the social media of his time, called newspapers.
Newspaper. Some of you younger folk may not know what that is,
But
yeah,
they're
it
still
works.
lingering.
Yeah.
He became well known because he was widely written up for his craftsmanship.
Okay.
In 1907, he built this building. It was his 3rd location.
Okay.
Actually, he was down about where Ogie is, and then he was on the corner of this block at 7th and Commercial.
Okay.
Then he built this building, like I said, in 1907, actually built it facing Silver Street.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that's when the Western Pacific was building down through the street. There were railroad tracks on Silver Street at one point. And the telescope was built the same year.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Puccinelli built a hotel about where the back part of the Stockman's is now, the showroom.
Okay.
And the Star, everybody knows the Star, was built in 1910, and the depot's across from the Star. So those were eateries and lodging places, and they did well. But he was buttonholed in this awkward spot.
Okay.
So in 1913, he sawed this building in half.
Oh my gosh, really?
Into two chunks, the front half and the back half. Drug it across the alley and put it on a full basement with 2 vaults and an elevator. One of those innovative new creations. And then he just flourished because he's in the middle of downtown Elko. The main train tracks are where parking lot land is.
Sure. Yeah.
But it was just this hustle bustle. Elko was a center of ranching and mining commerce, similar to today.
Right.
And he just did fabulously. One of his employees, and he had lots of employees through the years, several who became very well known on their own right, in their own time. One of his employees was a man named Joseph Martin Capriola. These all fall into place.
There you go.
And Joe learned a trade from him, but then Joe fell in love. This happens.
It'll happen sometimes.
With a girl from Jigs. He grew up he was born in Eureka and went to school in Jigs from about age 12 on. Anyway, he and his wife Carrie married, and they ranched in Lamoille over behind the church for about 15 years. But one of his kids had health issues, and it was a 2-hour drive into Elko when you're only going, 10 miles an hour over weird roads. So he had continued making leather goods and canvas goods. He rented a place from his brother-in-law down on the Hessens block, Bellinger Motor Supply. And in 1929, he bought the building on the corner, and the rest is history.
That's literally history.
Literally history. There's about 3,500 people in Elko at the time.
3,500? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
A little over 3,000. But these two were never cutthroat competitors. So you have these two businesses on the same block in the same business, but they played nicely together. And then Mr. Garcia died in 1930, and his sons carried on until 1938. And then they closed the shop and they moved to Salinas. Garcia started rodeo in Nevada in 1912. And he built a huge rodeo ground, probably as big as the Elko County Fairgrounds, over where South Side School is.
Oh, interesting.
And that's why Panorama Trailer Park has its little lanes within its park, called Garcia Lane and Park Road and Arena Way, named in honor of its original use.
Wow. I had never known that.
All this stuff ties in together.
Yeah, it really does.
So, and Mrs. Garcia then moved to Salinas a year later. She sold the building to the Elko Lamoille Power Company. And the power company, in its various names, was here for the next 77 years. In 2016, they moved into their new facility, which is on the north side of the freeway, across from DMV. And they knew the legacy of this building. So they approached a group of us, and I'd co-written a book with Paula Wright, the owner of Capriola's, about Garcia. And my job at the Trail Center was running out of money, so I was almost free. Approached us that if we got a 501c3 and all of that stuff, they would donate the building back to us.
Wow.
They also renovated the front of the building because it had this wonderful 1960s look. They renovated the building to look like it did when it was new.
Wow.
And we opened a year ago in 2018, and here we are today.
Wonderful. Wow. feel like I just learned so much about the community in just those last few minutes. So seriously, thank you for sharing all that.
Well,
I had no
it's,
idea.
you know, it's just fun to share
Yeah.
these stories.
Yeah. Like you said, it's interesting that a lot of our town is just so connected with each other.
We are. We're very intertwined.
Yeah.
You know, we think we're very cosmopolitan,
Mhm.
but really we're pretty small beings.
Yeah.
And because of that smallness and isolation,
Mhm.
we have to, like you said, we have to draw on each other and
Exactly.
take care of each other.
Exactly, right. Yeah, that's why we do things like these videos, so we can remember where we came from as a town and hopefully continue to live into that culture, if you will, with one another. So I really appreciate that. So we talked a little bit about how this whole thing got established, the history behind it. So right now, 2019, can you just share a little bit about the why? Why should people care about this place now? Why should people support it? Come check it out. What would you say to that?
We want to tell people, first of all, that there are a lot of cultural opportunities here in Elko,
Yeah.
right in our own backyard or our front yard. And we want to preserve the legacies and stories and the knowledge of the craftsmanship of the old cowboy ways. So we've got bits and we've got spurs and handmade things like the McCartys, which are horsehair ropes,
Okay.
and horse collars and harnesses, because really up through the end of the 1950s, horses were used for mowing hay and pulling wagons to feed in the winter.
Okay.
It was a very horse-based culture here.
Right.
So these are the legacies that we are striding to preserve in
Wonderful.
these stories. We're developing a library of books
Oh, okay.
for research,
Uh-huh.
and we'd like to work on a photo archive.
Okay.
And we've got lots of great pictures. You
Yeah.
never have enough pictures.
Of course.
And we want to have them in hard copy. You know, everything's going digital, but
Sure.
the way media changes so much, are you going to be able to extract them?
You just never know. Yeah, it's true.
There's going to have to be a lot of old computers out there to get them off. Another reason to pursue opening this museum
Sure.
was with the Western Folklife Center, whose focus is on contemporary Western and cowboy ways.
Right.
And ours is on the olden tradition,
Yes.
which meld and overlap a lot.
Exactly.
But we've also got the Northeastern Nevada Museum, which is the hub of all of our history,
Right.
and the California Trail Center,
Yep.
and Lamoille Canyon. It creates a destination.
Exactly.
So then people will come and visit. They'll learn about us and visit and spend a couple of days discovering wonderful Northeastern Nevada.
Wonderful. So, yeah, why don't you give us the practical aspects? What are your business hours? I said you're on Commercial Street, but give us the exact address.
So we're at 542 Commercial.
542 Commercial Street, okay?
And we're open 10 to 5 Tuesday through Saturday.
Okay, great.
And we have no admission fee, but we will gladly take donations because we are the literal definition of nonprofit.
Yes. So yeah, let's just do what we can to support places like this in our community who just help strive to keep our history alive so we remember where we came from. And I'm sure that will inform who we are going forward into the future. So thank you so much for all the
thanks
work
for having
that
us.
you do.
It's
Yeah.
just fun to celebrate Elko.
Wonderful, and yeah, happy 150th anniversary, Elko. You're still looking good for your age. You're still
Holding our
still
age
on-
well.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
doing all right. But again, thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you.
Really
This was
appreciate
so
it.
fun.
Awesome. All right, guys. Again, this has been our little trip to the Cowboy Arts and Gear Museum. Thank you so much for checking this video out. If you like what you saw here today, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button so you stay up to date on all the content coming out from Anthony around town. Until next time, I'm Anthony Crosby. We'll see you around, Elko.